Yo.
Yeah.
What up? What up?
Hey, cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Labor Day weekend.
Hey man, it's a
Labor.
hard day. This is how much I love
Yeah.
you guys, man. I have a whole thing going on this weekend, and I still made it for the show. I'm just gonna leave it out there.
What we talking about.
I'm just gonna leave it out there.
Listen,
Hey.
man, the city got a buzz going on, man. There's a lot going on. You got
There's a lot
concerts,
going on.
college football games,
A lot.
all kind of
Yo.
festivals. I was
For you,
like,
we appreciate it.
Hey, fellas, speaking of college football, I got to shout out my USC game.
You don't have to.
Big win
You don't have to shout them out, but it's okay. You
over
don't have to.
Virginia Tech, man. Virginia Tech. So, guys, let's jump right into it, man. It's Labor Day weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
You
sir.
can be doing anything this Labor Day weekend, and you are here with us. We are taking our time, and we're here with you. And we're going to jump right into it, man. I'm Crypto Bam. I'm your host with the most today. And briefly, guys, let's just go around the horn, man. We'll kick it off. Vin Roxel, man. Say what's up to the people.
Let's see. Y'all know your boy, Ben Russell,
This go.
a.k.a. the Black Bruce Wayne,
Let's do it.
a.k.a. the People's Champ,
Yes,
a.k.a. midlife priceless, a.k.a. middle-aged multi. Let's get it.
let's get it.
yeah.
Crypto Murph.
What's up, good people? It's your boy Crypto Murphy. We back at it again. I know it's Labor Day. Hope you enjoy your time with family, whatever you're doing. But I can tell you one thing: it's been far for your boy from rest on the Labor Day weekend. I've been laboring in these charts, but you know what? That's why we're here to make sure we can give you guys this alpha, navigate this stuff. It's been a crazy week. We got some good stuff packed for you, and like I always tell you, show me the charts, baby. I'll tell you the news. Let's get it.
Do it.
Hey, and Crypto God, you look like a celebrity over there. You're like a Nigerian Rick Ross.
Let's go. Let's do the Nigerian one. Let's go. Listen, every time I try to follow Vin Roxo on his intro, it's always something new. So I can't keep up. Every week got something new onto the joint. I can't even follow him. But anyway, Crypto God, man, we here. It's Labor Day weekend. I got a lot of stuff going on in the city. You got games, you got Chris Brown concert, you got this weekend, that weekend. It's just a lot going on, but we're here. We're trying to get you this money. And it's, we have a little topic this all season or not. That's something that's coming up. You want to tune in, but we're here to make this thing happen, man. Let's go.
Let's get
Hey,
it.
man, guys, I just want to say it's good to see you all. And to the viewers, man, I need y'all to go ahead and like, subscribe, tap the bell to tune in for notifications when we're live, man. We trying to run this crypto bull run with you. But let's jump in, guys. So there's a lot of talk. We've seen Bitcoin rise to a peak of 124,000 and change, all the way down to 108, 109K. Now, you've seen, some will say it's a rotation, right? You've seen ETH go to new all-time highs, while Bitcoin is kind of playing with everybody. And ETH has not crashed, right? That's the key. And to the viewers out there, and this takes us right into our first topic, man. Altcoin season here or nah, right? And Crypto Murph, I think this is your second, third crypto bull run cycle, and I want to kick it off with you, man. Based on history, right?
Yeah.
It's history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. What are you
100%.
thinking? Altcoin season here or not?
I tell you this, brother. From what I'm seeing and charting, we're on the precipice if we ain't there. And I'm going to jump into our TA segment a little bit later and show you Total 3, which is the entire market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And just give you some technical analysis as to kind of just what the charts are saying. Men and women lie, numbers don't. And that's really what we're here for. We're here to separate, our feelings. This is what place has we discovered for your feelings. And when people start the comment with, I felt like we bought the climb, I'm like, bro, I'm doing opposite.
We're not doing that today.
Yeah, we're not doing feelings, man. Leave your feelings in the door. You sign on here and say, look, my feelings, you got to stay over there. I'm going to here with these guys. Feelings, you got to stay back in the back.
Right.
But there is a lot of signs that lead me to believe that we're very, very, very close to a pretty substantial and significant move. To Crypto Bam's point, Ethereum, which is the major player for altcoins, and a lot of altcoins are built on that network, is holding ground in the midst of a lot of volatility with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has just been all over the map, guys. I mean, hit all-time highs at 124, and a week and a half, 2 weeks later, we're at 108, 107. I think we even hit 107, low 107s, maybe 106. That just goes to show that, if you can have strength when the dominant player is pretty much falling off a cliff, then that in and of itself is a message. So yeah, we're gonna jump into it and break down some of the specifics of it. But I think we're very, very close, and I'm excited, man. So I hope all bags are packed and we're ready to rock and roll here. Crypto money movers, buddy. Let's get it.
Well, when we go and we look at one of our favorite websites, CoinMarketCap, right? And we look at the altcoin season index, I believe at this second it's 54, which is well out of Bitcoin season, but not too far into altcoin season. I believe if we go back to November or December of 2024, we saw a peak altcoin season reading on CoinMarketCap of 86. So we've got a ways to go, but in crypto God, let me ask you about this. We talk about feelings, right? Because, and that's going to tie into the next subject of fear and greed. But before we get there, feelings, right? When you look at the market right now, do you feel like altcoin season is upon us, or do you feel like
feelings right now?
Yeah, right. Like, do you feel like crypto's a scam? Yeah. Are you feeling scammed right now, or are you feeling pretty good? Crypto God, man, talk to him.
I'm feeling pretty good because I see a lot of guys, at least 2 or 3 guys that's on this thing right now that's been through this exact thing.
Right.
And they came out on the other side smiling. So this is my first one. I feel good about it. And, a lot of times when people go into these markets and they're not, well versed in the markets and to see, what the market is doing, it's natural to be afraid. It's natural to be kind of hesitant and trying to put your money into things that you don't really have a handle on it. That's like with most things, right? But the thing you want to realize about cryptocurrency is, listen to the charts, right? The charts are there for a reason. You're not here to guess. You're here to guess, but based on data from the chart. So, just watch crypto, money movers. Watch Crypto Murph. He's going to talk about the charts. He's going to tell you, what it means when it hits this and it hits that. So just take your feelings out of it. Focus on the science of it and just let it ride, man. You're not going to make any money working 9 to 5. You're not going to make any money being hesitant. You're not going to make any money playing it by the regular rules, man. We're here to make money. We're here to live outside the limits, outside the rules, outside the box. That's where the money's made. So I have a good feeling about it.
Well, Vin Roxel.
Yes,
let's
sir.
go to you, our resident crypto skeptic, right? Now, you have seen Bitcoin hit 124, come back down. Let's talk about the fact it's a $2.4 trillion asset that has swung almost $20,000. That would be like Nvidia going from $180 to $750 or something like that, right?
Or the opposite, right?
Or the opposite, right? So
Right.
then, Roxel, when you take your stock market background and you're looking at everything right now, altcoin season, here or nah, what are you thinking about the positioning of these projects, things you've seen from altcoins moving up? Aurora, we talked about that.
Yeah.
A pump up 6 cents, a drop 6 cents. What are your thoughts?
As a stock market investor, I look at more swing trading and long-term trading, even in crypto, although I know that's not the predominant way people trade crypto. So what I'm looking at is trends right now. And this is not a positive or negative view of Donald Trump and the White House. This is just a perspective of how the Republicans are going to run the office. Right now, there's going to be, and there is increasing deregulation that is going to be occurring.
Facts.
What's going to happen with that deregulation is the market's going to run hot. And when I say run hot, I mean hot in a good way. Meaning the market is going to run, there's going to be an influx of money that's going to be available for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper as these rate cuts continue and as the White House pushes for rate cuts.
Yes.
So I think that with the influx of money entering this market, both stocks and crypto are going to have a serious run. If that answers your question, man, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest with you. As a capitalist, right? Political affiliation.
Strictly capitalist. Strictly capitalism.
As a strictly capitalist, this dude's about to run the market hot, and when he does, I want my money involved.
Right.
Well, guys,
let me piggyback on Vin Roxo on that for a second, Crypto Bam. So he mentioned a couple things, guys. He really just gave y'all some alpha that's going to be like, this is tomorrow's news today.
Yep.
Mark his words. He said the word run hot. And I want to go back to that and circle for a second, because to his point, money is going to be cheaper if and when we get these rate cuts, which we're predicting to have them. There are some people that are so bullish, they think we may even get a double just out of the blue because there's so much controversy between, the committee as well as, the Republicans who are running the White House right now. But to the point of running high, the reason why you have to be disciplined, your bags have to be packed, and you have to be dialed in is because when the market runs hot, money flows, asset flows into all these coins, and then they're overvalued. Let me say that again. They get overvalued because it's like revving your engine. Your engine gets to the point where if you just gun it, what happens? It gets hot, and then all of a sudden it has to cool off. Mm-hmm. And most people start jumping in because they've been watching and they FOMOing in because they didn't have their bags packed at the wrong time, and they get in on the cool off, and that's when they end up getting, the ass handed to them and language terms. So that's the reason why engagement right now, guys. I have a saying, time in the market beats trying to time the market.
Correct.
Let me say it. I'm gonna say it again.
That's you and Buffett.
In the back.
Right. That for the people on the top row, on the top row.
You and Warren.
Time in the market beats trying to time the market, and it doesn't require. It's not a every hour of the day. It's just being serious about it, like you will with any business that you have. Yep. So yeah. Anyway,
well, we're talking about feelings. Let me tell you something. That's what happens with your feelings when you say the market doesn't like me, crypto doesn't like me, because you watched the run up, and you jumped in at the tail end, and then the drop happens after the market ran hot, and you missed the entire run. That's your feelings. Let me tell you what you do if you want to make some money on this run up. You get in early when you see the deregulation starting to occur. We've seen this multiple times. When money gets cheap, money flows in.
Yep.
Yes.
And right now, I mean, the administration is giving every single sign that they're going to push this market to run.
Yep.
The last thing I'm going to say about this, and this is again not political. This is just as a capitalist.
Right.
No positive or negative on Trump and the White House. I'm fairly confident in my perspective that this administration does not want a recession on their image. And so at least for the foreseeable future, when this deregulation occurs and this money inflows or this money influx happens and these rate cuts are continue to be pushed, I think the market and the crypto arena is going to go higher and higher and higher. Yeah. The object is to watch Crypto Murph's trading view and know when to get out.
Right.
As this thing runs. So for me, it's not a matter of is the market going to run? Oh, it's about to run. Right. We're about to see We're about to see a straight influx. Yeah. When you get out is going to determine whether you're.
Amen.
Let me pick it back on that because I just picking up on where he said about Crypto Murph. Listen to Crypto Murph. We've been having a lot of people in our comments and our DMs, really praising his analysis. So this guy is one of the best in the business, man. I'll give him his flowers. I give him his flowers all the time, and we all give him his flowers, even when we're not on the air, man. We give him his flowers, man. He puts a lot of work into this stuff. This is a science for him. This is not something he just comes out here. He actually. This is his shit, man. Listen to him. And we get a lot of people coming to the DM so they say, listen, man, tell Crypto Murph thank you. He made me this amount of money. He made me this amount of money. I invested this. I did this because of his analysis, and I made this money. Now, keep in mind, it's just not a saying that everything he says is going to run, but it's highly likely that if he likes the coin, and he's put his money into it, it's highly likely that it's going to do something, right? Yeah. So pay attention. And the good thing about the now of it, right? Because we've been in this thing for a little bit, and we all have coins in this group that has not produced, right? We have some coins that we've been like, we had high hopes. Yeah, we had high hopes for, and it's not going to produce. But guess what? You make more money on some other coins, then you can kind of make up the difference on the ones that you lose. But the good thing about right now is going into this, quote unquote altcoin season and stuff like that, is you can get into this market now based on what we're like analyzing in the charts, right? You don't have to do it on your own. You can actually just come watch the show, see the technical analysis segments, and make your decisions based on that. And you're going to be in a much better position than most of us were when we first started in crypto. So you have like a leg up. So that's how I wanted to put out there, man. But it's a good time.
Crypto God, and again, I won't belabor the point, but I'll tell you this, man. As your person who has been really, really devoted to the TA, it didn't come because I thought it was cool. It was just, a good, I guess, conversation starter. It's because I was getting my ass handed to me when I started like 6-7 years ago. I'm like, yo,
I can see the data.
I'm like, yo. I'm like, yo, me and my money, like, I want my money. Listen, man, I have a connection. I'm emotionally invested with my resources, bro. And I happen to be a very, I'm a prideful man. I like winning, right? So I'm losing my money and my trade.
And your pride.
I'm over here like, man, I'm taking them on the chin. And I'm like, this ain't the business. I literally did that. I say all that to say that to Crypto God's point, the timing couldn't be better. The TA is going to be available for you. Everybody who's doing well in crypto are dialed into communities. No one's out there doing it alone. Not even somebody, if you're looking online, you're seeing social media posts, none of these guys with these massive, trade setups, none of these guys are doing trading alone. They trade in groups, they trade in communities. I'm a part of 4 or 5 different communities I trade in. Yeah. Because you need that many eyes on the charts to give you perspective, because we don't know, price action doesn't give us any kind of it doesn't give us a heads up. It just does what it does, right? So we just, and that's really the thing, we can respond to price action. We just can't predict it, or we can't dictate it. So that's what I won't say that, but I won't belabor the point, but I just want to make sure you guys understand the severity of what Crypto God was mentioning.
Well, I want to point out one thing, guys, and I'd like your thoughts, because I know a lot of people are looking at altcoin season. Is it here? Is it not? And for our viewers, many of them didn't experience a prior bull run. They've never actually tasted an altcoin season, but everybody knows what was going on in 2021, for example, right? And you had these stimulus checks. So everybody in the country was getting this money from the government. And I have seen a lot of chatter online about, well, guys, you got to remember the last time everybody got this money from the government and blah, 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 blah. And my view is that, to Vin Roxel's point, you have all these other things at work. You've got deregulation, right? You've got these bills coming down from Congress. You got the Genius Act. You've got banks adopting. And let's just be real, guys. Do you think that a couple 100,000 people getting a $1,500 check can hold up or equate to the type of pumps you can see from BlackRock, Cathie Wood, these giant hedge funds,
preach,
with billions of dollars to spend? Right. So, I want to know what you all think. Do you think that altcoin season is still going to see that 3x, that 5x, that 10x, that 20x on projects without the stimulus money in the hands of people in America that we saw the last bull run?
Well, I was going to say this. I think we're talking about, a global thing, and we're looking at it based on what the U.S. does. Like that's not going to be determined, right? Like we have to look at the global, market, the global effect of the stuff. So the answer to my answer is no, hell no. It's not going to make or break the bull run, not the bull run, but the alt season, whether it's here or not or whatever. It's not. That's not going. It's not going to be determined based on stimulus check. I mean, first of all, even if it was just, it's not enough money. I mean, we're talking about
Correct.
I mean, this market is trillions of dollars. Like,
Right.
it's
With a T.
right.
Since I want the T, that's the T.
Yeah, no. So I think if it's going to do anything, it's going to do, what it's going to do based on, how the world reacts to whatever's going on. Like, for example, if you have like, war and stuff like that, we talked about this on earlier shows. Those things have effect on global markets, right? Whether it's up the tariffs or trade wars or whatever's going on. Those things have effect on global markets. Stimulus checks is not gonna.
Hey, that's petty cash. That's petty cash. Yeah.
Well, let's do this, guys, because let's go to the next topic here. And we're gonna it piggybacks on altcoin season here or not, is this concept of fear and greed, right? And we've talked about fear and greed here, specifically the fear and greed index. If again, CoinMarketCap, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you need to like, subscribe, tune in, because we will show you where to go to find this information. CoinMarketCap has fear and greed index, and let's see where it's at right now. We're at 40. We're at a 40 on the fear and greed scale, right? So that means that people aren't petrified and afraid,
right?
But people also ain't greedy, right?
Right.
We know that the numbers go the highest. So when you see that alt season index hit 75, 80, 85, you're probably going to see that fear and greed index in the deep green of like 90% greed, right? That's when you want to be selling, ladies and gentlemen. That is you, and this is, and I want to throw this to the
Take
group.
your time with it, man. Take your time with it, please.
The concept to the group for discussion, fear and greed index, is if you're going to be buying projects, it is most comfortable to buy when everyone is greedy and there is no fear.
Yeah.
But is that where you make the best money? Crypto Murph, with your prior alt season bull run experience, dude, tell these people so they can hear it from the man himself. You want to be buying where we're at right now. You don't want to wait until, talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so I'll take a stab here. So what Crypto Bam is pretty much going over, and he's really, guys, setting all your bags and portfolios up for success if we all just listen. If we got to like, subscribe, and tune in consistently. Because what's going to happen is you're in what's called an accumulation phase right now, where the market is kind of coiling up. You're going to see a little volatility, some up and down. But it's literally like an analogy I use, and pardon me if it's horrible. It's like stretching a rubber band. Like if you pull it, this is the pull, right? And no one can tell you when that pull is going to stop. We just know that when it stops, it's going to do what? Catapult forward in a very, very aggressive way, to Venrox's point about overheating the market. So you're starting to see the consistent message behind kind of what we're warning and seeing in the markets. And this is not just based off feelings. These are based off the charts as well. And we want to make sure that you guys are ready for all of the above. So to that point, you don't want to, if you're getting into a project, let's just use the Doge little saga from back in the day, when everybody and their mom was talking about it, it's probably too late. That ship is probably already sailed.
Too late.
I would not, that's because what the good investors and traders are going to be doing is they're going to be dumping their bags. The concept is called, we sell into the greed. Meaning when everybody's jumping in, the smart money is jumping out, because we know that it is short-lived and there's going to be what's called a local top soon. And we don't want to get caught with the nonsense. Like, I'm not about to be caught putting, 10, 20 grand, 5 grand or a grand or $500 or anything I have into a project that's already topping out or about to consolidate. So to Crypto Bam's point, this is a very, very good time to be watching the projects that you're interested in, one, making sure you're building positions that you feel comfortable with and not risking money you can't afford to be down on for a small period of time. But you want to be buying now when we're in the quote unquote fear or the red. Don't buy when everybody, if you're hearing about these projects at the barbershop, guys, don't buy them.
Crypto Murph.
If you're at the park hooping and they talking about whatever the project is, don't buy it. It's too late. It's gone.
Listen.
No, you running this. I think I used the analogy. What, you chasing the girl? She already left.
She already left.
Yep, she done walked out.
For my 5 female abusers, they're like, bro, use another analogy. Anyway, Ben Russell, jump in.
I'm gonna say this: since we're in the spirit of quoting Warren Buffett out here, there's a Warren Buffett quote that fits perfect, which is, "When the market is greedy, be fearful. When the market is fearful, be greedy." And it's very simple. That's another Warren Buffett quote.
Boy, Jules, y'all hot to that.
Shout out to Warren Buffett.
Look at him.
Listen, got brothers. That's a rule that I've used for the last 20 years. Let me tell you what that means. That means that you're catching the run early. So when I say the market's about to run hot, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It means that, listen, we're early right now. The market is being fearful, and when it is, that's when your money's in, because that's when the stock or coin is low. And when the market is greedy, that's when that thing is hot. You want to get out. So if you can catch those windows, and the only way to do that in crypto for myself is to watch Crypto Murph's Trading View and see how we're moving those coins. But I just wanted to share that jewel that Warren Buffett put on me years ago, and I still follow it.
Well,
now,
I will. No, since we're quoting, since we're quoting,
Labor Day quote Sunday. Let's get it. What you got, Crypto God?
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Jay-Z. Since we're quoting, listen, numbers don't lie, man. You know, keep your feelings out the door and all that stuff. Focus on the numbers, man. When you're in a, whether it's cryptocurrency or stocks or whatever, you're focusing on making profits when, maybe 90% of the world isn't in that space. So you're in a competitive space, right? And you clearly know something that other people don't know. I didn't grow up, doing trading at all. So I clearly lost, on that opportunity for the majority of my lifetime. Now that you're in it, right? And you're looking at numbers, you're just looking at numbers, man. You're looking at numbers, and you can't. I used to be a salesperson before I went to law school, and no matter how nice I was, I had like the best customer service rating ever. Customers loved me. But if my
was
numbers
that before or after they found out you were?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I hear you. You showed up.
Here's the point I'm trying to make, right? No matter how much customers love me, no matter how much the rating was high when it comes to customer service, if my numbers, my margins, and my profit and revenue, if I don't hit those numbers, I literally get written up. I get in trouble because the numbers is all corporate looks at. That's it. So when you're looking at profitability and all that stuff, it's all numbers, right? When corporations decide whether they're going to make a product safer or not, it's based on numbers, right? Am I going to spend this amount of money to make this thing safe, or can I withstand the lawsuits and spend less money? It's all numbers. So keep in mind when you're doing cryptocurrency, whatever, is numbers. Focus on the charts, listen to Crypto Murph, watch the show, like, subscribe. And when we're talking about buying low, selling high, we've done the research. We know the lowest these coins have been, right? So if we're telling you to buy low, it's not based on guessing. We've looked at the charts and we've seen how low they've been, and we know what they're capable of doing. So if we're buying low, you might want to buy low too. I'm just putting it out there. That's just me though. But yeah.
And I do want to throw out one important caveat for the viewers, right? Is you'll hear these quotes like Ben Roxel quoted Buffett, okay, the OG. But whether you're talking about stocks or crypto, you got to remember, you got to make informed buys, right? Correct. They don't say go buy some Yeezy coin when everybody is being fearful, right? No, that's not what it says. No. You've still got to do your research. And this is why we talk about TradingView, which is free. We talk about CoinMarketCap. We talk about crypto money movers, because you want to buy when everyone is fearful, but you want to go buy certain things.
Correct.
Now, we do know that statistically speaking, when altcoin season really gets to hitting, you can kind of throw a dart at the board and make a little money. Okay.
Correct.
But one thing that has changed, and we've talked about this, fellas, is from the prior bull runs to now, there are so many more crypto projects available to buy. You're talking about
Right.
hundreds of millions, and you will get rugged. You will lose your money unless you make educated, informed decisions. Okay. So wanted to throw that out there, but it goes hand for hand. And I think it's time to get there. I will say that I thought I grabbed another Modelo. Somebody put a natural light in my, what is this stuff? You can't talk about crypto drinking natural light. Anyway,
I don't know what you're drinking over there, Ben. I'm gonna show you something, Ben. This right here, this is what you need to be drinking right here.
This
is some Zacapa XO.
Yes, sir.
This is where let me tell you something.
Ooh.
This right here is a Guatemalan delicacy right here. This is Guatemalan rum. Zacapa XO. We ain't drinking no Modelo over in Ben Rox's house. We ain't drinking no natural light.
Hey, I'm waiting on this altcoin season.
And that's coming from a dude that's on one of his properties. You know what I mean? Like
with the boat in the background.
Right.
See the boat in the right hand corner of the screen?
Yeah.
I know that shit boat with a bit on it.
I'm like, boy.
I don't know what y'all talking about. I do know one thing.
Drinking Modelo.
Look, I'm gonna drink my Modelo and then stare at this natural light while we get ready for a little bit of technical analysis.
Yeah, buddy, it's your boy, Crypto Murph. It's your boy, Crypto Murph, and we back at it again. And you already know where we're going with it. You know, we're gonna go back to our landing page. We're gonna make sure we visit CoinMarketCap, go over everything that we need to do when we're looking at trade setup, when we're looking at things, just kind of get an overall top-down analysis of, you know, what's happening in this market and where we see things going. So let's jump right into CoinMarketCap. And we've referenced it a lot on the show even today. And obviously, if you've tuned in consistently, you know that this is where everything kind of starts. This is where we do our research at. This is where we find out kind of our playbook. It really gives us kind of our blueprint of kind of what we're doing. So we're back here at CoinMarketCap. And Crypto Bam referenced altcoin season. And I'm going to highlight it, or I'm going to kind of circle around this area. You know, in the past, guys, probably for the last 2 or 3 months, Bitcoin has been on a tear, but it's been pretty much doing it by itself, right? So altcoin season has been kind of hanging out in this little area here. But as you can see, we're getting closer to the blue. And the thing I want to emphasize the most is there's no heads up in this marketplace. There's no warning like, oh, Tuesday at 8, you know, be prepared for takeoff. This ain't no plane ride where you know what time you need to get there. This stuff goes and is gone. So I say all that to say bags should be packed, and I'm gonna go over a couple different things that we've looked at and we're looking at that kind of gives me that inkling. But the first thing here is altcoin season index moving closer to the blue, which is good for us, and the fear and greed index, which Crypto Bam referenced as well for Bitcoin, looking neutral, which are all signs that tell me, okay, things are shaping up and coming to fruition the way we like, right? So as I always do, let's jump into just general what are the market sentiments. And we can see here, fear and greed index, neutral, you know, social sentiments from divergence. You have a lot of speculation in the market right now. Bitcoin has been really all over the place for the last week and a half, while altcoins and the mother of the altcoin network, which is Ethereum, has been pretty much holding court. And that's what we want to see. And then we can look at this overview in terms of just percentages of how much interest and money is coming into the market. And that's really where, you know, we can start to see and differentiate between retail money and also corporation and corporate big money. So private equity, et cetera, Wall Street, those guys, the ones who really, you know, can move and push this market. So with that being said, you can, you know, make sure you're doing your weekly or daily, if you're really active in this marketplace, top-down analysis, looking at, you know, market sentiments and, you know, kind of what is it telling you. Another thing I want to point out right now, because of where we are in this market, is I would encourage you to look at the trending tab too. And I just clicked on it here because the trending tab looks at all the hottest coins. It's almost like engagement, for lack of better terms. And usually where there's attention, money flows next to. So you always want to make sure that, at some point while you're doing your recon, that you're looking at your trending so that you can just kind of have an idea of what's going on. And again, not to kind of beat a dead horse, but you can sort to your preference by the 1 hour, by the 24 hour, by the 7 day, etc. But make sure you're looking at trending right now. And what I like to do too, because to Crypto Bam's point earlier, there's so many new players in the game. I like to go over to the new and just kind of, see what's going on. And because it popped up, I'm going to actually speak on this very briefly before we get into our trading view. World Liberty Finance launches a coin tomorrow. So if you're hearing speculations about World Liberty Finance, the speculation is Donald Trump and his whole little consortium of friends, family, et cetera, what have you, whatever, you want to categorize them as. This is their project that, a lot of folks are very, very, very bullish on. Yeah. Very, very bullish on. And
now, Crypto Murph, do we know?
Yep.
Do we know where is that going to be available? Everywhere, Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, Crypto.com, or is that a DeFi play that you're going to wait and hopefully your exchange lists it? Do we know?
So my guess is that they're going to list it on the centralized exchanges, and the reason why I say that is because that's where you get the majority of your volume from as well. So Coinbase will more than likely have it. Now, the challenge with that is that if they release, if they launch it tomorrow, at any given time that they can, because again, this is not, a regulated market like the stock market, the equities market is, and I have to wait to 8:30 or 9:30, whatever it is. They can kick this thing off literally while we're speaking right now. And I'm looking at the charts and I might be thinking, shit, they may have already did it. But anyway, now, and I'm not saying that this is the actual particular one, because sometimes you have different I guess imposters, for lack of better terms, that will try to make the same coin and fool the masses and you buy the wrong shit. Yep. Which is again another reason why you gotta do what? Be tuned in, like, subscribe, and be here. We're gonna give you the right one and give you the contract address. So but to that point, Wilfy is coming out tomorrow. My speculation is that they will be listed on all the centralized exchanges. They were listed last week. And don't get too deep into this, on what's called the futures, meaning people who wanted to invest in the perpetual part of it. They had a valuation of about $40 billion. $40 billion valuation last week when they came out on futures. So my speculation is you'll probably see some volatility, but you'll ultimately, if it does what the Trump coin did before his inauguration, it'll probably have a really, really strong performance. But you want to keep these things on your radar, which is why we went here to the new. Because had I not done that, I wouldn't even have thought about it myself. And I spend a lot of time scouring the market to look for these opportunities to bring to you guys too. So make sure you're doing that when you're looking at coin market cap. It's going over the new, looking at the trending, looking at the most visited. These are all your categories that show you kind of where the interest in the market currently resides. You want to be in. I think Vin Roxel quoted it. He was like, look, something's about to get, real hot and heavy, and I want my money involved in it. This is kind of what that little, that recon will take you. So with that being said, let's jump over to TradingView. And before I do, I'm going to give you guys, so we're going to look at Total 3, which is all of cryptocurrency minus Ethereum and Bitcoin, because that's quote unquote the signal for altcoin, and we want to be on the cutting edge of what we are seeing there. And then also we're going to look at, I think I gave you guys an AVAX setup, and I gave you, maybe we'll go over one of the coin that a lot of the guys is as a bonus. A lot of the guys in the group are in a particular coin, and again, non-financial advice. We'll just show you what one of the coins and projects that we've been in, and maybe we'll pull that up and do some TA on that too. So let's jump on over to Total 3 on TradingView. All right, cool. So what we see here, and I've taken a lot of the spaghetti off. If matter of fact, let me take one more thing off so it looks even cleaner. So as we visited in our previous TA segments, guys, we started to understand what formats and forms and patterns look like. And one of the things we always look at is our bullish pennants, our bull flags, etc. And I leave these two lines on our charts at all times because I hope and I'm praying that they resonate every time we go over a TA segment. And the reason being is because this yellow line is probably the saving grace for anybody trading, investing, whatever. Because we want to always be conscious when price action, which is our candles, are somewhat close to it or interacting with it, right? So total 3 again, all of cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And this is kind of the sign of when we are, anticipating alt season to start. And as we always do in our technical analysis segment, we have a measured move. But what we can see here, because we're flagged out, and we're getting super tight. There's no guarantee it gets to the end of this flag. This thing can take off at any given point, or it can consolidate. It can stay here and chop and then take off. That's what makes this marketplace so unique, is that no one knows what price action is going to do. But what we do know is that upon breakout, it has a measured move up to 2.41 trillion, which is all, again, of cryptocurrency minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you're probably thinking, well, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't care. What that means pretty much is your alts that you're buying, just like the coins that we're going over, are impacted by this move. So even if you're buying something that maybe is not one of the 3 or 4 coins that we've reviewed and TA'd, chances are, if you see this breakout, to Crypto Bam's point earlier, you could throw a dart just blindly, and more than likely you'll see a pretty healthy return on your money. So we want to see this. I guess it's the short of it all. This is what we want to see, and we see that our 21, which is our white line, is curving up, which is a signal of momentum going up. And anytime they come into interaction, typically there's very shortly some kind of an explosion, either up or down. And looks like right now, based off how the market's performing, that it's going to be pretty favorable for us again, guys. I don't make promises, because crypto has been one of those things, and just like other capital markets, is you can't predict what's going to happen. You just prepare and put yourself in the best position. So that's what we're doing. But let's jump into the AVAX trade that I gave you guys a couple weeks back. And even in the midst of a lot of volatility with Bitcoin and other craziness, we still are in a relatively safe zone on the AVAX trade. And I'm pretty impressed with how it's held up based off just kind of where we've seen things with regards to Bitcoin. So this is the 3-day, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to go to the 1-day because we're in spot positions. And I think I mentioned on our last TA that we could see consolidation. We can see this. But the thing that you're going to notice the most, especially here, is that we're within our within our flag. That's where we want to stay. We want to stay here, and we want to stay above the yellow line. And what we look for specifically here is action to do what's called an inverted head and shoulder, which we have a shoulder here, you have a head, you get choppy, you play around, and then, if things go according to how they're looking to go, we should be getting a movement up. And this trade is still a valid trade. I'm going to update the entries right here so that you can see exactly what the measurements are if you were to get into this trade right now. So this would probably go more out here. I still like the measured move going to 38. This would look more like this. And now your potential return at this entry right now is even higher. So even at an entry, let's say at 23.43, and I think I gave it to the group around 23 or 24. So you're still in good shape. You're not really taking any kind of a loss at the current moment. You have a pretty strong opportunity to jump in AVAX from what I'm seeing and from what the technical analysis is showing. If it's a project that you're interested in, again, do your own research. Non-financial advice, it's your money, your choice, your decision. But I will tell you, I'm in it. So if that means anything to you, I like it. And I think I mentioned earlier, I'm very, very emotional and emotionally connected to my funds, to my resources. So do what you choose with that knowledge. But I like AVAX still. So if you're looking at some potential plays and opportunities, AVAX still looks valid to me. And I won't belabor this, but what you'll see in this pattern too is in the midst of all this pattern, Bitcoin probably fluctuated $15,000 to $16,000 in the midst of all this price action. And we still were able to stay in this pattern. And Crypto Bam made a very, very strong point that you guys earlier when we were just kind of chopping it up, is that, when you see this type of staying power, if you will, in the midst of a 2-point-some trillion dollar asset, doing whatever it wants, those are usually signs that you might want to pay attention to what's going on. So that's where I stand on AVAX. It's still a valid trade. I still like it. Still not too late to get in it. And you see the measure moves on it. So I promised you guys I would pull up one of the other charts, and I haven't charted it yet, guys. So we'll be looking at it together, of a project that we are all in as well. And I think it's called Aura, guys. Help me with the symbol just in case.
AUR Aurora. AURORA.
Okay. All right. So it's on Coinbase. So this must be it here. So
yeah.
All right. So let's take some time and look at Aurora. And I apologize to the audience as well as the team, because I was hearing in my head Altura, which is a project I've been in forever and waiting to do well. And it's done well. It's a gaming project, but anyway, that's not what this is. So let me first start with the daily. Let me reset things here. Pull everything over.
All right, Crypto God, you've been waiting on this.
This is for you guys. Yeah, so Aurora, there's a couple things that I see that I like. And there's a couple things, and I'll be honest with you, that kind of give me like a, that's interesting. So the first thing I'll notice when I pull the chart up is this ungodly bounce from 6 cents to the wick takes us up to 12 cents. So it pretty much 2x. And it happened on Tuesday. So the first thing that I think of when I see this on a large time frame, and the daily is considered a very, very large time frame, is that somebody's playing around with price action, or somebody's, there's somebody that knows something that has a lot of money and a lot of resources in this project. So it's not necessarily a reason to, it's not a cause to pause, if you will, but at the same time, it is a cause to kind of pay attention to the charts, because the charts are they're always going to show you exactly what's happening. And typically when you have a spike like this, we see what's called a tweezer top, which is when the other coin right beside it comes down to consolidate. Now, what I like to do for these smaller cap coins, and specifically here for Aura, is, okay, well, if it did this, there's something that happened. Like, people don't just go throw their money in something they think is going to do nothing, right? So it's enough for my analytical mind to say, well, okay, it needs to be on my radar. And then I'll start charting it out, because these type of random pumps can kind of throw the price action, if you will, off for people who just do generic TA. They don't know, they only do what I call layer 1 TA. The candle's big, it's green, I buy, or it's red, I buy, and then, hope and pray. Yeah. This market is not going to be that user-friendly when it comes to the technical analysis, which is why we're going to be giving it to you and making some sense of it so you can also understand it, not just hear it and see it. But to that point, the daily is enough for me to put it on my radar. All the momentum indicators look pretty solid. So what I do next is I'll break it down and go to a smaller time frame. I go to my 8 hour. One of my key indicators on larger time frames, as I always tell you, is this yellow line. I think in my future life, I'm gonna get married to the 200 MA, because it's just like a gift. It's like a gift that keeps giving, man. It's like, I don't know. It's part of me, but this is a very, 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 very good sign. And I personally don't have a big bag of Aura, but now that I'm doing the TA and talking you guys through it too, I think that's gonna change, because this is what's called a golden cross, and we're touching price action above the yellow line with indicators that tell me we could cook. I like that. We could cook on this.
So let me ask you, Crypto Murph. I'm actually in Aurora as well.
Okay.
From your technical analysis, what would be in terms of a range of exit? What would be like, I'm pushing the limits, right? And what would be more of a safety zone, if you will? What are you thinking? Just,
So let me, and I'm glad you asked that, Vin, because this is a very, very unique opportunity that if you're watching, you're going to actually see something a little different. So Aurora is a smaller cap coin. And that's why you see all these crazy wicks and all this crazy what's called volatility with this project, because The market cap, which I don't have right here, is relatively small, is what I'm getting at relative to other cryptos. So with that being said, you're gonna see all kind of crazy, just random, wicks that when you're charting and looking at TA for X's and entries, you have to be very cautious of, especially in a volatile market. So what I'm seeing specifically on the 1 hour, which is the time frame, the 1 hour and the 4 hour are what I call my entry exit time frames on investment or spot positions. I see a measured move because if I'm charting this, which makes it very difficult to chart because I'm literally having to set my trend lines in areas that are kind of like, it's hard to say, did we break out here? Did we break out here? It's a very, very unorthodox trend line. So I would probably initially think we're in something that looks likely like this. And you probably like, okay, well, what made you pick that? You want to touch as many of your, what I call price action points as possible, because what it does is it covers your bases. And this is a pattern that looks kind of weird. And some would even look at it as a potential bearish pattern, which could still consolidate. But the reason why I like this is because when I look at the larger time frames on a coin like this, because the market cap is so small, this is enough, simple enough for me to get really excited about a project. And I'm gonna remove the spaghetti so you don't get confused.
So Crypto Murph, altcoin season happens, the market runs hot. Obviously, this is best case bullish scenario.
Yep.
I
could see.
I want to talk about that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me even. I'll even break it down a little bit easier. So let me give you a perspective, because I don't want to quote prices that, especially on some of these smaller cap coins. But I'll tell you this: if I'm looking at it on a very, very large time frame,
yeah, large.
I would not be surprised to see Aurora go back to, over a larger time frame, we have some what's called bullish divergence here. We're below on our Stokes. I could conservatively see Aurora going back to resistance here, 14 cents, nice, conservatively. Nice. Yep. Nice. Conservative. Nice. Yep. Especially when I'm looking at, this is called your support zone here. So we really haven't done much below, 6-ish. If you want to take the wick, 6.5. So you can feel confident if you have Aurora, or you're looking at Aurora, that you're definitely not buying the premium. And that's what we talk about here on the Money Mover. You don't want to be buying here or here for this matter. So if we're looking at consolidation and we're looking at just how patterns play out, we know that even if we buy here, even if we don't have, again, the perfect entry, we have a damn good one, because we're pretty much are at market lows. And this is the 1 week chart, which goes back to September of 22. So we have enough data here to make an informed, educated decision that tells me, okay, if we're in this zone and we have some patience, I think Aurora will pay dividends. So
I like it.
Now, Crypto Murph, let me ask you this, right? When you've got a project like Aurora, some of these smaller cap projects, compared to, say, your XRP, your ADA, et cetera, right? Where those have more regular price action, such that when you do your TA and your charting, it's more akin to the stock market than like we saw with Aurora. It did a freaking 2x and on a random Tuesday, right? So one feature, and I just want your thoughts on this. One feature that we've talked about a little bit is, take Vin Roxel, and he's like, look, this thing might randomly pump. I might not be in front of my Coinbase or my Kraken account when it happens. I might miss it. Is utilizing the feature that a lot of exchanges have, which is setting order limits, and go ahead and say, look, I've done the TA. I think that Aurora might go to 14 cents at some point. I don't know when. I don't know if I'm going to catch it, because the market swings are ballistic. So go set your order limit to sell it all at 14 cents and just forget about it. Then you don't have to track that project, and you can day-to-day monitor your AVAX and your other joints, right?
Correct.
I mean, is
Yeah,
that a good strategy for people?
I think it's an excellent strategy, especially for a project like this that appears to be pretty much at market lows. And you're in a spot position, so you're not really going to be, worrying if this thing falls 50%, it goes down. I don't know what, to 6 cents. So you're not in a project that really has the ability to nuclear, take your portfolio, right? So yeah, setting limits on a project like this with money, again, that you feel comfortable with, and say, look, it's at 8 cents. Give me 7.5 cents and I'll buy. You can buy in there, and then also set when you want to unload it. And just to your point, Crypto Bam, just kind of, not really stare at it and pay it that much attention, because, from what we're seeing on our TA analysis here is that it's probably close to the bottom. Now, it doesn't mean that tomorrow or next week is going to be back at 14. And that's the thing I want to make sure that when we're looking at TA, that we separate our emotions and our expectations and put them in the proper categories. TA doesn't mean that you come back in a week and all of a sudden,
I'm rich.
It played out. Yeah, I'm rich. This is not that. I promise you. There are some plays that happen like that, but don't use that as your barometer or standard for what your expectations are, because you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be emotionally all over the place. What's important is to look at the TA and make sure we're within all the charts and all the patterns that we're showing you, and just have confidence and conviction that they're going to play out the way they need to. So that's the big thing, and we want to make sure that you guys are understanding that when you're tuning in to our TA segment. So with that being said, I hope you guys got a lot from these two projects. We'll have more, because I have some that I'm vetting, and next Sunday we'll have a bunch more, especially as we get closer to what I think is going to be altcoin season at some point. We'll be going through these things like it'll make your head spin. So we're excited about that. But until then, it's your boy Crypto Murphy. And as I always tell you, show me the charts, baby, and I'll tell you the news. Kicking it back over to the studio.
Hey, man, Crypto Murph. As always, ladies and gentlemen, y'all, this is our homeboy. This is our brother. We love him. And we also love using him for his knowledge of TradingView and charting. But we use him from a good place, man. And I hope y'all enjoyed that. And we're gonna take just a quick second. We have to. I love doing it. We got to talk about the craziest thing in crypto today. All right, man. I'm here. Bring your craziest thing segment to you. And it is what it is, man. The craziest thing in crypto today is Bitcoin. We can talk about Bitcoin dominance dropping. It's down to 56%. We can talk about Bitcoin's price going from $124,000 and change down to $108,000. Is it going to keep going lower? Is it going to drop below 100K? And if you can remember, and you go back to, I think it was September of last year, 2024. Literally a year ago, it was like 50 grand of Bitcoin. It's freaking ridiculous for something that has a market cap of $2.4 trillion. And guys, I just want to tell you, keep your eyes on Bitcoin. And as you watch things, whether it's crypto money movers, whether it's any of the other people on YouTube, you got to make sure you understand what it is. Make sure you understand what they're talking about, because sometimes you'll hear people talk about a bull run and is it over and blah, 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 blah. And you're over here thinking like, man, I was just watching crypto money movers and they said we were getting ready for altcoin season. Man, they might be talking about the Bitcoin run being over. Eventually, Bitcoin is going to stop running like crazy. And we're actually seeing, I think, some of that.
Yeah.
With some market manipulation. Yep. These are the big guys who go and dump $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and send the price tanking, right? Because they're repositioning for ding, 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 altcoin season, baby. So that's the craziest thing in crypto today. And y'all stay tuned. Every week. We're going to bring you something juicy. And I think next week, I'm probably going to delve back into the DeFi space, So I have an interesting coin to talk about with you all. So, guys, before we wrap it up real quick, I just want to take a second, as always. We're going to go around the horn. We're going to go Crypto God, Crypto Murph, then Roxo, and then I'll bring us home. Crypto God.
All right, so I'll just piggyback on the Aurora thing because that's one of the coins I'm in, and we've had a TA on it in our private meetings. And one of the reasons I mentioned this earlier in the show, that this is a good time to get into these projects, is because I got into Aurora when it was much higher than what it is right now, right? Yeah. So when he's talking about it may go up to 14 cents or something like that. I'm still not, I would have to, DCA down to get to that, but you don't have to. You can enter it right now and get all that profit. So this is a really good time to follow these charts, follow Crypto Murph, follow Crypto Money Movers, and make money, because now is the time to get into these charts, man. So
yeah.
Crypto Murph.
But I think Crypto God really nailed it. And again, guys, just thank you guys for being here. You're spending the most valuable asset you have, which is your time. Obviously, you take, this movement and this journey very, very serious if you're here. And we want you to be here with us so we can do it as a community, because that's really how we get better. The TA is something that the more you see it, it becomes habitual and it's repetitive, and you will start to understand these things. So don't overwhelm yourself with trying to, draw the specific designs. But we will have opportunities where there are teaching moments so that you can kind of have an understanding if you are interested in charting and looking at all the particulars. Those opportunities will be available as well. But the biggest thing we want to do right now is position ourselves and be ready. And there's not going to be any room for any kind of space for excuses either. So, if you're here and you're paying attention and you're dialed in and you're consistent, you're going to be rewarded. And like I always tell you, bro, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. Until next week, folks, it's your boy Crypto Murph.
Vin Roxo, our Timu Vin Diesel, man.
You gonna get off that Timu? I got your Timu with that damn natural ice you drink. That's a Timu beer over there you got going on. Oh, Timu beard you got. Let's go. Let's keep it moving. At least give me a bootleg Costco Vin Diesel. You call me Timu. All right, let me get into it. There's only three things I'm looking at real quick. Republican White House. I'm looking at AI as being on the forefront and making the market continue to run. I'm looking at deregulation. These three things, I believe, are going to lead to what I call the market running high. I want to get in early, and I want to get out before a rug pull, whatever you want to call it, right? So for me, my message is simple. Let's get in. Let's figure out the right trades, whether it's crypto or stock. Again, I'm heavy on the combination of AI, a Republican White House, deregulation, and it's coming. Like a run-up's coming. So if you want to make some money, tune in. If you don't, good luck to you. Go back to that 9 to 5.
Tune in anyway.
If you don't make any money, listen, go back, punch that clock. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Either they can make money or watch us make money. Either way, watch the show.
Whatever you want to do, you do.
Right.
Either way, watch the show.
Either way, watch the show. Watch us make money or make money. It's your call.
All right, guys. Well, here we are. We've come to the end of the episode. If y'all noticed, the sun was gleaming when we started, and now it's setting upon us. But I do want to say one thing to all of you watching, right? And it applies to us too. All traders are created equal. Some just work harder in preseason. I want you to remember that. All traders are created equal, man. Some just work harder in preseason. And at Crypto Money Movers, man, we have been training. We've been in preseason since last year. Every two times a week.
Crypto God, he about to hit the field. Talking about trading. He about to get out there. as a running back.
Traders are created equal. Some just work harder in preseason, and we want you working, y'all. We want to see you thrive. We want to see you make your money, change you, change your family's life. But if you do not do the work, if you don't tune in weekly, right? If you don't take the time to go get these free accounts, Crypto Murph and Crypto God be talking about,
Please.
you gonna end up stepping onto the field come altcoin season with the big dogs who worked hard in preseason,
right?
and you gonna get your ass ate alive.
Hey, man.
Pause.
No Diddy, no,
I don't know what you doing over
no
there,
Diddy.
Crypto.
No Diddy. So, look, man, I'm just saying, bro, tap in every week, like, subscribe.
Yep.
Y'all, we're just a group of friends who took our private crypto talks public because we want you in on the journey with us, man. We're not perfect. We ain't rocket scientists, but we do kind of know a little what we doing, man. We make bread, and we do our thing, you know. So join the community, man. Y'all see we have fun. We might drink a little beer. We gonna kick it. We gonna laugh. But most importantly, we gonna make that money, baby. So, fellas, as we say goodnight, as it pertains to this crypto market, we ain't
never getting out.
Getting out, baby. Catch y'all next week.
Happy Labor Day, people.
Happy Labor Day.
Be safe out there.